Jordan. The other sneaker YouTubers, the hell are born. OG Trap Jordan, OG Trap Jordan. I got sneakers, raining and pouring.
What up, YouTube? OG Trap Jordan back with another one. And before we get started, I just want to say happy Monday. Hope your guys' week is starting off good. And we're just going to jump right into it today. And I do have some news. I got some updates on some release dates. We got a first look and we got some other things I want to talk about. But before we get into all the news, I do want to kind of bring up something. Well, actually, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to get right into it. And I want to talk about what happened this week with the UNC1 Reimagines. Now, we all know what happened. They sat like ducks. They didn't do nothing. They're still in stores right now. There's practically a full-size run sitting on Sneakers app, and a lot of people are talking about it and making their little speculations on what happened and why they're sitting. And I'm just going to get right into it, and I'm going to tell you that I'm standing firm on what I said previously in a video, and they're buns. They're straight butt cheeks, in my opinion, and they basically have ran the whole Reimagine age look into the ground, and that's my personal opinion. Now, I know we've had a few Reimagines that were pretty nice, and obviously what they tried to do with these is they obviously tried to make a Lost and Found Part 2, and it didn't work. And the Lost and Founds, in my opinion, they were pretty dope. They had a cool story with the box and the whole story behind it where it's like we know the story. I don't need to get into all that, but they tried to do it again and this failed. And the reason that it failed is because, like I said, in my opinion, these just ain't them. They're not them. That yellow midsole, it's out, it's played out. It doesn't look good against that colorway, and a lot of people seem to have the same sentiment. They seem to share the same thoughts on that, and so they're sitting. Now, another thing I want to say is they probably did make a lot of pairs, and I want to speculate a little bit and just say that there's just not a lot of hype. There's not a lot of hype behind it. When there's not a lot of hype, shoes sit. But this isn't necessarily a bad thing, and I'm not trying to deter anybody from getting these shoes that actually likes them. And if you actually do like these shoes, then I think you should grab them. You might even want to wait a little bit and see if they go on sale, maybe possibly hit outlets, because that's probably where they're bound for. They're probably going to be in the outlet soon, or they're going to be going on a discount because they're sitting pretty hard. They're everywhere and you can grab them. Like I said, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. If you like these shoes, I think that you should wait, see if they go on sale, and go ahead and snatch them up and get you a deal on them. So with that being said and that out the way, I want to go ahead and I want to get into the next thing I want to talk about. Before we get into all the news, I want to talk about these white cement 4s. Now, we all know that last week, all the big YouTubers were coming out and they were all talking about how there was possibly going to be a shock drop. And we know how these big YouTubers do. They like to just speculate. They do a lot of things for clicks, and nobody had any real news. They were just speculating. And that's okay, I guess, but everybody had the same video on the same day that these were supposedly going to shock drop, and all we heard was crickets. And we're still sitting here and there's no shock drop, but today there has been a few rumblings. Now, there's some reputable people out there that I won't name that have been kind of dropping hints here and there, saying that something might happen and telling you guys to be on alert. And in my personal opinion, I don't really know for sure if anything's going to happen, but they are loaded on Sneakers app from what I've heard, and that kind of means that there's probably not going to be a shock drop. Doesn't mean there's not, but we could possibly be getting like a sneakers pass or something like that. So I would say stay on alert, just be diligent and don't slack, because they might do something and they might come out. But I do want to say about these that we all know that they made plenty of pairs of these, and they're going to be a super GR. So, but does that mean that everybody's going to grab them? Maybe not. We know how Jordan Brand likes to play games. They do that a lot. They might limit the release on Sneakers app and then turn around and give us a bunch of restocks and make it look like they sold out. Who knows what's going to happen? All I'm saying is if you want these shoes, don't be lazy. Go ahead and make sure you get on all your apps and you do everything you got to do. Dot your I's, cross your T's, and make sure, because you never know, Jordan Brand, they love to play their games and make everything look limited and hype everything up and make it hard to get. So we'll just stay tuned for that and we'll see what happens. I think they might do something, but we'll see. I'm not going to be the guy to get on here and say shock drop coming, because we don't know shit, and that's just facts. But let's move on to the next thing. This is the one that I wanted to talk about. So the Jordan 3 Seol 2.0. Apparently the release date got pushed back, if you haven't heard already, for a couple of days. It was originally gonna drop on May 15th, and now it's Saturday, May 17th. So there's also some raffles up. We got Sneaker Politics and we got Better Generation. So I don't know if this is a EQL, but if you guys are looking to grab these are okay in my opinion. But if you're looking to grab these and you don't have an EQL account, you might want to make one. I'm sure there's going to be other raffles. As far as what I said right now, there's Sneaker Politics and there's Better Generation. And let me know what you guys think about these, because in my opinion, it's another one of those things where they just slapped an aged sole on it and didn't really give us what we want. The original one, the OG of these, is the best one in my opinion. I really like those. Those are super fresh. These are okay. We'll see what happens with these. I don't know the stock numbers. I don't know how limited they are, but I do know, like I said, that they've been pushed back a couple days to May 17th. And I think that's going to be on Sneakers app from what I've seen. And there's a couple of raffles, and I'm sure there's going to be more. So if you want those, get ready to grab those. Make sure you got your EQL accounts, because I'm pretty sure that's how you're going to have to do it if you want to grab those. So now, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about before we get up out of here is the Travis Scott Jumpman Jack. This is a collab with Travis's boy Chaseb. Now, me personally, in my opinion, I actually think these are fire. In my opinion, so far, this is the best Jumpman Jack. I like this colorway because it's different. It doesn't really look like anything I have in my collection, so I wouldn't mind putting this in my arsenal. But I don't know if this right here, that green sole, it looks like it's glow in the dark, which I'm not real big on, but I do think this is just a really nice looking shoe. And so far, a lot of people are acting like they don't like them. But you know how that goes. People are going to change their mind. By the time these come around, these are going to be hyped up. And in my personal opinion, these will sell out like most Travis Scotts do. But I do like this one. I think it's pretty dope. It's a dope colorway, and I think energy will change and people will want to get these. So let me know what you guys think about these as well. I think these are pretty dope. Let me know if you guys are planning on copping these or anything else that we talked about today in this video. And with all that being said, I just want to say, if you like my content and you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and then hit that bell so you can get notified every time I drop one of these bangers, and you can get some more of this good stuff in your life. And remember, before I get up out of here, I just want to say, no shoe is an absolute must cop. Support the culture, not the resellers. I'm OG Trap Jordan, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.